Hello angels, welcome to my boudoir. This is my booktube debut, I suppose you can say, and I am not a very technical person, so we'll be taking this learning curve together, but I just love books and I love talking about them, and I want to talk about them with you, so welcome. I should probably introduce myself. I'm Daphne. I'm a writer here in New Orleans. I love books. I'm an artist. I'm a bit of a hedonist. I stay out later than I probably should, and I get into a little bit of trouble, but by day, I write and I read, and that's what I want to talk about. So, I've got some books that I would make a deal at the crossroads in order to read for the first time again, and I want to share them with you. Because if you haven't read them, then I can live vicariously through you, and if you have, then you can talk about it in the comments and we can get into discussions because I love talking about these books. They're my favorites. Just Kids by Patti Smith. This is a recent one for me, and I desperately wish that I could travel back in time to 1 month ago before I picked up this book so that I can read it for the first time again. I don't know how it took me this long to pick up this book because it's got everything that I adore. The late 60s and the early 70s, lush prose, a bohemian artist scene, New York City. It's just, It felt like Patti Smith was casting a spell to immortalize Robert Mapplethorpe in our collective consciousness through this book. I completely fell under, I'm like hugging it like a little child. I completely fell under this book's spell, but when I came out of it, I found myself mourning for a culture that doesn't exist anymore, but more than that, for an artist that was taken from us too soon by AIDS. I wondered what he could have made if he had been given more time, and I started wondering, as I always do when I think about this, is the culture and the art and the world we could have had the government not used AIDS as a collective punishment against gay people and the gay community. It makes me think of this world that we've lost, like I said, to AIDS, that we've lost to our iPhones, this collective meeting that people had. You know, there were meccas, all these places that you would go and you would meet people. That's why when you look back in time, you would find cohorts come up. You'd find these authors who were all friends with each other before they'd even ever published their first book. And it's because you would come together in physical spaces, and we don't have that anymore, and we're disconnected and we're disjointed. This book gives me a big sense of melancholy, but at the same time it gives me hope that we could get something similar back. I understand why it's become so many people's Bibles, because I think it just became mine as well. Next up, Boys of Alabama. I am a Southern Gothic girl, right down to my soul, and this book is the top for me. It's one of the very few contemporary novels I actually have on this list because I tend to be more of a 20th century girl when it comes to my reading, but this needs to be added to the canon. What is it about? It's about this high school, this 16-year-old boy named Max who is moving from Germany to Alabama for his father's job, transferred him there. Oh my god. Whoa. The sun just decided to come out. It's been cloudy all day, but I've been graced with some vitamin D. I really need it. So because of the language and the culture barrier, our protagonist stumbles into essentially a cult of personality without realizing it. He's just attempting to fit in with the other boys in his school, in his grade, and he doesn't even know he's in danger until kind of the very last page. What I love about this book is that Genevieve Hudson breaks down Christian nationalism, homophobia, and groupthink, all with that creeping sense of dread and rot that you get when you read a Southern Gothic. Truly, I would give anything to read this one for the first time again. It is a masterpiece, and if you're a Southern Gothic fan, even if you're not, please give this one a try. Okay. Okay. Stay with me. Okay. I don't know why I'm giggling so much at this. Okay. Fight Club. Yeah. Listen, I used to be a dedicated Fight Club hater. I watched the movie, I got bored, so I stopped, and then the fan base behind the movie just completely killed it for me. And I don't know what came over me, but I decided if I'm gonna hate on something, I need to be fully informed about it. Well, I read this and I ate my words. I ate them all because, oh my god, this is one of my top favorite books of all time now. Now that I've read it, I find it ironic that the fan base that it attracts are the very type of people that this novel is criticizing. We all know what happens in this book, and if you're one of the lucky few who don't, read this book and treat yourself to one of the most perfectly executed plot twists of all time. I'm not joking, I'm not exaggerating. There's a reason that this book has made it to cultural canon. When it comes down to it, Fight Club is about the way that men, when suffering under a hyper-capitalist culture, like all of us, choose to make villains out of the wrong things and decide to tear everything down with these vague notions of building up something new in its place without any real plan. And when we really dig into it, the new thing they're building is only going to suit them. It's not going to suit everyone. Obviously, this is also a book about a cult of personality. It's one of the most famous books about a cult of personality. When we talk about the prose of this novel, I'm personally not really the biggest fan of minimalism. I tend to like more descriptive narration. But this book is what I believe minimalism can and should be. He uses the exact amount of words necessary to describe what he has described. There is not a single superfluous word. I could go on and on about this book. It is truly one of my favorites. But I'll stop right now. The Secret History by Donna Tartt. I am just like every other girl. When I was reading it, I just fell deeper and deeper into her prose and description and this idea of ultimate beauty and terror. And it wasn't until Bunny's funeral that I snapped out of it and I realized just how sinister these people were. And I also realized how manipulative and unreliable Richard is as a narrator. For the rest of the book, reading it through that lens and finding myself, fighting against this allure that Richard is building for you and him trying to get you on his side. Masterfully done. It's the prose. It makes me long for lamplit libraries with dusty books and crumbling estates and sparkling lakes and you realize again halfway through reading it that the whole thesis of this novel is that the pursuit of aesthetics will be your downfall, which I also find very interesting in conversation with people like Oscar Wilde, who was an aestheticist. He was someone who believed in aesthetics for aesthetics' sake. It comes from a place, just like these characters in this book, it comes from a place of privilege to look at art and to pursue only its beauty and nothing else. And I believe that that's ultimately what this book is about, is the privilege that you must have in order to do something like that, and how no matter your privilege, it will be your downfall. And what I find funny is that this is the Bible for that aesthetic, and yet this book is also criticizing that. If you're one of the few people on booktube who have not read The Secret History, highly recommend. Slaughterhouse 5 by Kurt Vonnegut. This book changed what a novel can be for me. It is my most beloved novel. I read it for the first time in high school. Actually, this exact copy was my grandfather's copy, and he let me have it for my class. You can see I was still using pink pen. That's how you can tell it was high school. And all of my really deep thoughts about it, such as main point, no war is glamorous. Well, yes, of course. That is, I suppose that is a really succinct way to, I feel like, you know what? I shouldn't make fun of my 16-year-old self, because I think Kurt Vonnegut would appreciate something as to the point as that. You know, I say I don't like minimalism, and yet he's one of my favorite authors, so maybe I don't like white room syndrome. I'll take back what I said earlier. I do kind of like minimalism when it's done correctly. So like I said in my analysis, main point, no war is glamorous. Kurt Vonnegut tells you from the very beginning, from the prologue, that this is a condemnation of war. This is an anti-war book. He believes that no war is justified, and he believes that war is just rich, old, powerful men sending children off to go die for them, for whatever conflict that they have. Vonnegut's training as a journalist really comes across in this novel, and it makes me wonder if the only way he could write about this, because I think it took him about 20 years of trying to write this specific novel. It makes me believe that the only way that he could talk about it was with the detachment of a reporter. The sci-fi element, Billy Pilgrim traveling through time and getting abducted by aliens who believe that everything's predestined, is the most accurate representation of PTSD that I've seen. Because no matter what, a part of him is always stuck in that snowy battlefield, in that packed train car in Dresden. No matter how far away from it he is, something will always pull him back. And the only way he can survive is to believe that everything is predestined. There is no such thing as free will. The past, present, and future are already written. And there's nothing he can do to change it. This book changed my life. It's what set me on the journey to being a writer myself. There's genuinely something magical about this book. There's something magical about Kurt Vonnegut. I've read so many of his novels at this point, and he was truly a once-in-a-lifetime author. And he showed me, again, what novels could be, what sci-fi could be. If they didn't make you read it in high school, read Slaughterhouse 5. We're on the last one. Okay. I keep saying all of these are my favorites. I mean, this is the video of all the books that I would sell my soul to read for the first time again, but I am like a prophet spreading the good word around with how much I recommend this memoir. This is actually my second copy. I lost my first one because I let my friend's now ex-boyfriend borrow it, so I'm never gonna get it back. It has all my annotations in it. I'm actually really sad. So, as I said, this is a memoir. If you don't know who the Club Kids are, they were this party generation that came up in the late 80s to early to mid 90s. They were this gay, drag, artist underground scene, and they were known for the parties they put on. If you know the Limelight Club, that is them. They are also known for the murder of one of the drug dealers that was prominent in the Club Kids scene, Angel. James St. James was very close friends with Angel's murderer. And that is what this memoir is about. If you couldn't tell, I love books and stories where a glamorous veneer hides something sinister or rotten underneath. And this book is glamorous. The prose is sparkling, it's funny. It is one of the funniest books I've ever read. You can't tell from some of my top picks in here. I love comedic prose. I love it. And this book, James St. James is a master of it. And this has never happened to me before or since, but I could quite literally open this book to any page and just admire the way that the prose itself, the sentences, the paragraphs themselves are structured on the page. He's not scared of using italics. He's not scared of using all caps. He's not scared of using bold. He is not scared of line breaks and white space. It is like he wanted this book to be and look as good as it possibly could. This memoir is truly a ride that I wish I could take again, because there is nothing that compares to those stomach swooping moments of not knowing what is going to happen next. And James St. James is such a good storyteller that you're just screaming the entire ride. And it really lives up to its original name, Disco Bloodbath, before they changed it to Party Monster. James St. James has only written one other book. So, James, Mr. St. James, I'm speaking directly to you now. I am begging you to get back into writing. You are one of the best writers that I've ever come across in my entire time of reading. I need more, but it can't just be this and one other book. Please, Mr. St. James, please get back into writing. That's why I want to read this book for the first time again. That's why I would sell my soul to read this for the first time again, because you only have 2 books out. And I need more. I really, really do. Read this book. I promise you'll love it. Party Monster. Macaulay Culkin. I do love Macaulay Culkin. He's such a good actor. And he was so good in this movie. I'll shut up about the book. I'm gonna keep going on if I don't. I think this list might be very revealing of who I am. But thank you for watching. Thank you for hanging out with me. All of my books that I would sell my soul to read again. If you've read them, I would love to know what you think about them. So please, please let me know your thoughts in the comments. And since this is my first video, I just want to say again, thank you. If you like this, please subscribe, because I'll be making more book videos. I'll be making some writing vlogs, days in the life, maybe a sewing vlog here and there, because I can't stick to a niche to save my life. Sorry. If you like writing and reading and rock and roll, come join me. We're very hedonistic over here. We indulge in literature, we indulge in art, we indulge in dancing and music. I have a TikTok, I have an Instagram. Thanks for joining me. I'll see you in the next one. Okay, bye for real.